So I've cubed up a leg of lamb, and this meat is perfect for slow cooking. It means it's perfect for stewing. I'm gonna start by browning up the meat, and that's gonna add an extra layer of flavor. Always browning means more flavor. And the key to getting these perfectly browned is to throw them in the pan in batches, and then don't move them. Let them brown up on each side, and then you can switch it up. I love stews because they're a one-pot meal, they're super tasty, full of flavor, and they're so easy. All right, so this meat is nicely browned. I mean, look at that caramel color. Okay. So I'm gonna use Vidalia onions in my stew. You could use a yellow onion or a white onion, they all work. I just like Vidalias because they're a little bit sweeter than some of the other onions. When I was a kid, my mom used to make a lot of stews at home, and I was never upset about it. They're delicious, they're filling, easy. And just roughly chop these onions. You don't really have to fuss. Now all this meaty goodness that's left over from searing my meat is gonna hang out with my Vidalia onions. Now this stew loves thyme. It gives it a real fresh, earthy note. And of course, a pinch of salt. And these just need a little bit of time to cook down and soften up. So look how these onions have caramelized. They've cooked down perfectly and browned up just like my lamb earlier. I'm gonna give these a little bit of flour, and what that's gonna do is help thicken up the sauce and make it rich like a gravy. I wanna cook out the onions with the flour for just a little bit to get rid of that floury taste. And I'm using beef stock today. I made this beef stock earlier, but if you don't have time to make your own stock, use store-bought. Beef stock has a nice, rich flavor that's really gonna hold up to that lamb. This already smells so good. And now, back in the pot with these babies. So this looks great, and a lot of my friends, this is how they make their stew. But here's a tip. Go to your butcher and ask if they have any lamb bones. Lamb bones are packed with so much flavor, even more than the meat. And some more stock, just until the bone is covered. And if you do this, I promise you, it'll be the best stew you've ever had. I'm just gonna let this simmer for about an hour. So I'm gonna use sweet potato in my stew. You definitely could use a regular potato, but I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. Look at this. It's cooking up really nicely. Oh, it smells amazing. So these guys are just gonna cook out with the lamb for a while, soften up, and it's ready to eat. We're almost there, folks. The stew is cooked up perfectly. I'm gonna dig in. One more scoop. Just a pinch of fresh parsley. Gotta get my greens. All right. The lamb is so perfectly cooked. This reminds me of being a kid. And that gravy, it's so rich and flavorful. If you weren't watching, I would be drinking this out of the bowl, honestly. You gotta get some nice, crusty bread to soak up all this delicious gravy. I'm not gonna waste a drop. This lamb stew, it's like a hug from my mom.